Have you ever seen anything like this before? Chances are, your answer is no. It looks like something pulled straight out of a treasure hunt adventure movie. Except this time, it's real. Because today, we're talking about one of the most mysterious and controversial books on earth, the Ethiopian Bible. A book older than the King James Version, older than many of the manuscripts the world considers canonical, and hidden behind a wall of history, politics, and ancient traditions few people truly understand. But before we go deeper, there's something you should know. Ethiopia itself is a land wrapped in mysteries, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, the only African nation never colonized, and a country whose people can trace their lineage all the way back to Ham, the son of Noah. Even Jewish tradition acknowledges this connection. But this video isn't about the nation, it's about what the nation guarded. The oldest Bible you've never heard of, Ethiopia, possesses some of the oldest biblical scrolls ever discovered, even older than the famous KJV Bible. While the King James Version contains 66 books, the Ethiopian Bible has 88. It includes the Old Testament, the New Testament, and ancient works that other churches have never recognized. What makes this even more unbelievable? Ethiopia had these texts before Christianity officially reached them in the 4th century. Meaning Christianity wasn't introduced to them, it was already alive there. By the 6th century, the historian Cosmas Indicoplistes described Ethiopia as a thriving Christian empire, sheltering believers who fled persecution. Some tribes in Ethiopia have worshipped the God of the Bible for over 3,500 years. Yes, older than the Roman Catholic Church, older than many European Christian traditions, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church stands as one of the world's first organized Christian institutions. In fact, the earliest illustrated Christian books ever found written in the ancient Ge'ez language were discovered in a monastery on a mountaintop in 2010. Sheba, Solomon, and the bloodline story according to Ethiopia's holy book, the Kebra Nagast. Something extraordinary happened in the 10th century BC. The Queen of Sheba traveled to Jerusalem to meet King Solomon. This story appears in accepted biblical canon, but what the traditional Bible omits is that Sheba and Solomon had a son, Menelik I, Emperor of Ethiopia. And scientific studies from 2012 examining Ethiopian DNA show evidence of ancient intermixing with Egyptian, Israeli, and Syrian populations around the exact time Sheba is said to have ruled. The legend, backed by surprising genetic clues, continues to grow stronger. So, why isn't the Ethiopian Bible accepted? This is where things get complicated. To understand the controversy, we need a quick history lesson. The Bible didn't always have the neat 66-book format we know today. In the early centuries, dozens of writings about Jesus existed. Some were real. Many were fake, basically ancient fan fiction. There was no internet, no fact-checking, so misinformation spread like wildfire. To fix this, early church leaders met in the Council of Nicaea, 325 AD, and the First Council of Constantinople, 381 AD, to decide which books were legitimate. Centuries later, St. Jerome translated the Hebrew scriptures into Latin, creating the Vulgate, the foundation of modern Western Bibles. But even then, there were still multiple conflicting versions circulating. In the 1600s, King James I ordered scholars to create a standardized Bible that supported both religious unity and his political authority. This became the King James Version in 1611. During this process, many ancient books were removed, but Ethiopia kept all of them. The main issue: the Ethiopian Bible has books others reject. The Ethiopian Bible includes texts categorized as pseudepigrapha, writings falsely attributed to biblical figures, or works considered by other churches to be non-inspired or theologically suspicious. Some were removed because early theologians believed they weren't written by who they claimed, contained questionable teachings, or were created with harmful intentions. But Ethiopia preserved everything, and that's where the controversy begins. 2 Ethiopian canons. Broad versus narrow. Ethiopia has 2 versions of its canon. 1. The Broad Canon 81 books includes Enoch, Jubilees, Epistle of Clement, Books of Maccabean, and many others. This is the version most people refer to when they talk about the Ethiopian Bible. 2. The narrow canon, 72 books revised under Emperor Haile Selassie. Some texts from the Broad Canon were removed, and the reasons are still a matter of heated debate. The Broad Canon hasn't been reprinted since the early 1900s. Even within Ethiopia, there is tension about which version is official. Why many churches reject it? There are several reasons. 1. Language barrier. The Ethiopian Bible is written in Ge'ez, an ancient language few outside Ethiopia can read. This made global acceptance difficult. 2. Political history. In ancient Rome, The church and the state were deeply tied. Any scroll that didn't support the political narrative was rejected. In fact, priests were ordered to destroy some scrolls, but many secretly hid them. They were rediscovered in the 1940s near the Dead Sea. 3. Differences in theology. Ethiopian Christianity developed separately from Europe. Its teachings, traditions, and texts reflect African, Jewish, and Middle Eastern influences others didn't share. A book that refused to die. Despite wars, invasions, and even a fire that destroyed parts of the monastery where the Bible was stored in the 1930s, the Ethiopian Bible survived. Muslim armies tried to burn it. Italian forces tried to seize it. Nature tried to destroy it. Yet it remains a mysterious relic of a much older Christianity. And now, with more translations and global interest rising, the world is finally paying attention. Is the Ethiopian Bible the complete Bible? Is it a lost key to early Christianity, or is it a collection of writings that were never meant to be canon? The truth depends on who you ask. But one thing is undeniable. It is the oldest and most complete biblical collection in existence, and the world is only just beginning to understand its power.